what do you feel like is going to help you the best in terms of studying for your MCAT? I said, what the heck is an MCAT? And he looks at me and he's like, are you joking,
Are
or are
you
you just
high?
stupid? So he looks at me and he's trying super hard. This is how belittled I feel, right? So I'm looking at this man trying super hard not to laugh in my freaking face as he's telling me, hey, you may want to try something else. And he was like, let me give you a roadmap of what happens if you don't pass the MCAT with this pre-med degree. You're going to do absolutely nothing, and you're going to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life, because that's about the extent of what you can do with a pre-med. And he was like, maybe let's try the nursing route instead, so that because he was looking and he was like, with nursing, you have a little bit of leniency. You can make, it's great to make A's, but you can make B's, and you can sometimes get away with C's. With pre-med, you're A. And if you make a B, then have fun being, like, replaced.
Yeah,
And
basically you're fucked. You have to be perfect, and if you're not
you
perfect, you're
have to be,
fucked.
you have to be incredibly intelligent, which, to my benefit, I'm not necessarily sub-brick level of intelligence, but I'm pretty close to it. So, I'm talking to him, we're basically doing this, and I get my major switched. And at this point, I had no idea what I was doing. And, I'm a freshman in college, literally got done with my first semester of pre-med stuff. Like, okay, cool, we're on the freaking fast track now. We're good, we're golden. I made A's. I made an A in what was it? Was it pre-calculus or calculus? It was one of the two. I think it was calculus. So I made an A in calc. And like I was super like happy about that. Like I felt super accomplished and stuff. And then I'm like, okay, well I made a B in accelerated anatomy and physiology. And if you have no idea what an accelerated course is, imagine a semester's worth of work packed into 4 weeks. So,
AKA just fast track your ass.
AKA, suicide is the only option. So, you
Or
know,
information overload.
yeah, it was terrible. Um, so you got that, and it's like, okay, well, now my major switched, and I've already got done with my first semester, and now I have to basically restart my first semester, but I've only got 3 more years left of this. And it's like, okay, cool. So now I am starting over from having 15 credit hours out of 60 credit hours to my name to 0 out of 60. And it's like, okay, what the piss is going on now? And like this was the time when CJ started, getting depressed, because I was taking that accelerated anatomy and physiology course, because I had to backtrack. So I took pre-calc my first semester, and then I took accelerated anatomy and physiology in the spring. So I had that course, and then I had to take freaking algebra. Like, oh, no. I had to take probability and statistics instead. And freaking, like 4 other classes. I was taking 21 credit hours, which is the equivalent of, like, I think 5 classes, which is a lot. Actually, no, it's more like 5 or 6. I think it was 6 classes, which is, it's quite a bit. So, doing this while also trying to get my CNA certification, which the CNA certification class doesn't end until 9 o'clock at night. So I'm basically having to do all of my homework at 10 o'clock at night, get in bed by 12:30 to wake up at 8 o'clock to drive to Johnson City, which is like 30 minutes away from where I live, so I can sit in class half asleep, because I've gotten 4 hours of sleep last night, for a class that is accelerated, meaning that we are moving at a pace of 3 chapters a day over the course of 4 hours. So, yay, me.
Basically go insane. Is the
So
only
you got
option.
that. And then we go into sophomore year, CJ. Okay? And
No,
this
shoot.
was, I'm a junior now. I'm not taking any classes this semester because I don't need them. But yeah, I am a junior now. So we go into sophomore year. And sophomore year is whenever I get into my second relationship with a girl named Lexi. And me and Lex, we went to school together. We basically have been best friends my entire life. I was head over heels for this woman. I loved her more than anything. And, you know, we proceed through the fall semester, and tests are kind of starting to line up with mine and Lex's dates. So, like, me and Lex are, we don't really talk as much. I'm trying to, like, this was the first time that I've ever had to split school with relationships. It was the first time that I've ever had to juggle before. So it
Juggle
sucked.
business with pleasure.
Well, kind of, sort of, but not really. Okay, definitely. So anyway, but like, yeah. Anyway, so go into that relationship, and I'm trying to find. Honest to God, like, I would come home from school, hop on PlayStation. I think I was playing with you, and like this was whenever Call of Duty Modern Warfare came out, and I was playing with a lot of people.
We started playing it back in like June. I don't think we ever played at the start.
Oh, I didn't know.
I think
But anyway,
me and you got like to a point where we were like a dead period. We didn't talk for damn near 2 years.
oh word. But anyway, so playing with my friends and stuff like that, and then I would get like a text at like 9:30 at night because like I'm unwinding, I'm just playing. And I get a text at 9:30 at night saying, "Good night, baby. I love you so much. I hope you sleep good." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I didn't text her for 5 hours." And I felt terrible.
And
Like,
you're,
ungodly.
screaming.
Internally, like, honest to God, I started crying. Like, this was where it was, like, I mean, and it was like, because that's not me. And that's not who I want to be. Like, I want to be a good boyfriend. I want to be a good everything. Like, obviously, like,
you saw that, and basically your mind went like, "Oh, I'm a dick."
Yeah, and my mind was like, "Oh my God, CJ, you're such a penis." So anyway, we go into that, and we, my tests are kind of. I got 2 exams lined up on Friday. Friday's whenever me and Lex are supposed to go out. And, it's like, well, or excuse me, me and Lex are supposed to go out on every Thursday and Wednesday, I think was whenever we had it lined up. That's whenever like we went on all of our dates and stuff. And tests are starting to line up on Thursdays and Fridays. And it's like, okay, well, I need time to study because I've only got a week. And it's like, honey, I'm sorry, but I need to reschedule this. Can we try it, again next week? Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. Next week rolls around. Sociology. You got an exam on Friday. Okay.
Might need to reschedule this.
Might need to reschedule again. And she's like, cool, whatever, I get it. We need to reschedule again. Okay, well, this is kind of sucky. Like, why are you doing me like this? And, granted, we could have just went on Saturdays, but whatever. I don't know why. We never did that, no. Or excuse me, yeah, we did, like, the point being is that she was getting tired of me basically having to bail on her, and I completely understand, especially now, like, I completely understand that, Did you
ever tell her, like I'm taking accelerated courses?
Oh, I wasn't taking an accelerated A&P class, I was taking accelerated A&P in spring, not in the fall. I was taking A&P 1 again because I made a B in accelerated A&P. So I'm trying to get an A in A&P this semester. So I'm taking regular anatomy and physiology. And we do that. And it's like, she calls me and she's crying. And I'm like, honey, what's wrong? What's going on? And she said, listen, I don't feel important. And I was like, what do you mean you don't feel important? Like, I mean, is there anything like I can do? Like, is there this, that, and the other thing? Like, I mean, what is there that, like, what's going on? And she was like, we don't do anything together. We don't spend time with each other. We don't go out. We don't do anything. And it's like, honey, I'm trying to do this for you and me. Like that's what this is for. Is like, you know, this is for our future together. And, you know, she's like, well, I mean, it would still be nice to be able to actually spend some time with you, or at least get to talk to you. And, you know, I didn't realize it back then just how important like this was. And like I said, you know, it comes down to maturity. And at this point, I was a very immature young man. And, you know, I was like, what do you want to do? She said, I think that we need to take a break. I'm like, not break up. We're not breaking up. I think that you need to get your stuff straightened out. I need to straighten out some stuff. We'll come back later. I was like, I don't want to do that. I said, you know, I feel like we can make this work. And she said, I don't. And she was like, I feel like that, you know, you need to get this stuff straightened out, and then we can talk and we can try to work for it. Okay. So I'm depressed for the next.
Of like, you know, taking a break. Like, just say we're through for like fucking now.
So taking a break, right, still means that you love that person and you want to be with that person, but you can't do it right now. And it is, and you know, Lex, one thing I will say about her, she is a very genuine person. She's very big-hearted. She cares about people. And, you know, I knew that she cared about me. I knew that she loved me. So, like, you know, we're taking a break and all that stuff. And, you know, 3 months go by. And I'm getting ready to take my finals. And take my finals, get done with it, everything. Take a week to unwind and just think and process and just, you know, reflect and just try to figure out what it is that I really want in life. And I was like, okay, well, I do want Lex to be a part of this. So I text her. I'm like, hey, you know, how are you? Do you want to, you want to just start talking? Like, I mean, is that a thing that we can do? Can we just start talking again? And she basically is like, I hate you. I want nothing to do with you. You never checked on me. You never did anything. Like, I want nothing to do with you. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I've moved on. I found somebody else. You suck, and I hate your guts. And I was like, cool.
Yeah, you and me have very two. Like, mine, I have pretty much from my father's side is I have a short fuse.
Right. But
like,
continuing.
I can keep it more, like, you know, just internally. I get angry at myself, but, like, good God, I would probably snap.
But continuing on, 4 months go by. I'm not really a happy camper. Or excuse me, 2 months go by. I'm not really a happy camper. And I start talking to Caitlin more. And, like, you know, we're talking and stuff. She's dealing with her thing. I'm not going to get into detail about, you know, what she was going through. But, like, you know, she's going through her own thing. And, you know, we hit it off. She was, I mean, without going too far into detail, she was in a toxic relationship. And she bailed. You know, I basically was like, you know, this isn't right. This isn't good for you. You need to get out. And she did. And then 4 months later, I think, pretty sure, I don't know when they broke up. I know we got together in June. But, we get together in June 18th. And she gets me. Like, she does. She understands me wholeheartedly. Like, we're on the same page. We love each other. We're there for each other. Like, she appreciates me. I appreciate her. And it's like, I'm happy. And I'm happier. Not only am I happy, I'm happier than I've ever been. And, you know, I'm just, you know, I don't really know what to do because I've never had something go this right before. So
we're dreading the fact, like, you know, this is too good to be true.
I wasn't necessarily like that because I felt that deep down in my heart. I believe that God doesn't make mistakes, and this happened for a reason. So I look at this, right, and I'm like, you know, maybe this is God showing me that I'm supposed to, like, this is the one for me. You know, we have the same interests, we do the same things, we say the same things. She basically is a carbon copy of me.
Basically the female you.
She's basically a female me. And it's like,
very
you know,
narcissistic, you know.
like, and I love her. God, there is, like, even now, like, I love her more than anything, and we're broke up, so, like, penis, like, I don't know what to do with myself. So, you know, she, like, you know, she makes me so ungodly levels of happy. She understands that, you know, school's stressful, she's kind of stressed, but, you know, we can help each other out. And then, you know, me being a warrior, me being, because, like, you know, one of her co-workers at the time, because she used to work at Chick-fil-A, one of her co-workers, 38-year-old sexual predator. Pedophile. So, basically, he starts texting Caitlyn. He starts texting Kat. And I am not a fan of this situation. And, you know, I go and I handle it. And
did you threaten this man, CJ?
I threatened his very existence on this planet, yeah. But anyway, handled it, never heard another thing from him. But knowing that he was willing to do that, knowing that she was he knew that she was in a relationship, and yet he still was thinking about that. It got my mind in a place to where, like, is my girlfriend safe? Like, because everyone always ends up saying about every serial killer that has ever existed is like, I never expected that person to do that. He was always so quiet, he was always so nice, he never really did anything, and then he did this. So I started thinking, and it's like, you know, I don't, like, I'm scared. And I'm scared for Caitlyn, because Kat's like a $120, $125, and she's tiny. She's 5 foot. She's like, huh?
Were you thinking of killing people?
Was I thinking about killing people? No.
Yeah, you just went in this whole thing about serial killers.
Oh, no. I was talking about freaking what's his face. No, I was talking about that guy. And you know, that ends up happening, and it's like, I'm worried for Caitlyn because I don't know what he's going to do. Not only do I not know what he's going to do, but I really don't know what other people are going to do. Because, you know, Kat, very beautiful young lady. Very attractive young lady, actually. And I know that if I think that, someone else is going to think that. And she doesn't get off work until 11. So, the piss is, you know, like, you know. So,
become a guard dog, basically.
She basically was my intentions, yeah. Like, I didn't want to be like the guy who's like, okay, so as soon as you get done with this, you go straight home, and that's the way that it needs to be. Like, it was never like that. It was, hey, I would appreciate it if you didn't just chill in the parking lot until 12:30 in the morning. Like, you know, talking to your friends and stuff. And, you know, she was always, and rightfully so, you know, she was always like, but I'm fine. I'm a big girl. I can handle myself. And I was like, I know you can. I'm not worried about you. I'm worried about other people. I said, I know you're okay. I know that you can handle yourself. But that person that's going to be riding a bicycle, you know, wearing a freaking, like, you know, tattered jeans and a wife beater that cuts across this little shopping center right here, sees you and is like, dang, she's kind of bad, and is, like, targeting you. That's the person that I'm thinking about. I said, I'm not thinking about this from the aspect of, like, I don't trust your coworkers, I don't really trust you. That's not what it is. I don't trust other people. And I was like, and, you know, the way I look at it is, I'm marrying this woman. Like, I'm spending the rest of my life with her, and there is no doubt about that in my mind. So, you know, that ends up happening. And it's like, you know, I feel bad because, like, I don't want to be this way. Like, I don't want her to, like, well, let me rephrase that. I don't want her to feel like that she can't have a life outside of me. You know? Because, like, I mean, granted, my life was her for eons. But, like, I don't want her to feel like that her life has to take a freaking back seat to, you know, me I didn't want her to feel like that she had to appease me every 5 seconds. And like, I mean, you know, I'm always going to worry. I'm always going to care. I'm always going to want to make sure that she's okay. And I don't care. I don't really care what it takes for me, as long as I know. And that's the thing with me, is I'm hella overprotective. And I've always been that way. And that's something with me that I don't necessarily feel like is a bad thing. Like, I don't. I feel like that me being the way that I am, it not only establishes the fact that I care an ungodly amount, but I also am willing to do anything and everything that I can to make sure that the person that I love and care about is safe and secure. And that is Caitlin. So, you know, it's... And then, you know, we break up. And now, that wasn't the point of this story. The point is my whole world got flipped on its head when we broke up. You know, everything, and it's like, and this is the deal with me, is I still look at Caitlin, even though, like, we still are kind of awkward and stuff right now. I still look at Kat and I still see the person that I'm supposed to marry. And I still see the person that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with. Granted, I don't feel like that she thinks that at all right now. I don't think that she thinks that at all right now. I think that, you know, honest to God, I think that she's probably already moved on. And that's just the way that it is. And that blows and it sucks and I hate it more than anything. But I will give anything to see that girl smile and see her be happy. That is all that I care about.
At the cost of your own.
At the cost of my own. And that's the thing with me, is I hate that about myself. Is I'm willing to put myself on the back burner and put my happiness on the back burner just to see that someone else smile. But Caitlin means
just
so...
like me.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, you know, Caitlin just means so much to me that I'm willing to do that. And that is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing to do. Don't get me wrong, that mindset. But, like, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, back to the point. The point is that I take my nursing exam in 2 months. And I've wasted the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks actually, almost a month, because, you know, Kat was going through some stuff, and I wanted to be there for her, and I wanted to make sure that she was okay. I've wasted valuable time for my future worrying about something that I have no control over. And so that's the thing, is life in itself, nothing ever really goes the way that you want it to. And if it is, it's because that God's kind of got your back in that situation. And, you know, there's, you know, it's a slippery slope, right? Because you have a plan, you have a set goal for yourself, you have a degree that you want to get, you meet a girl that you love more than anything, that you want to have a family with, and you want to have a relationship with, because I've had all of these things, and the rug gets pulled out from under you, and you have a decision to make. You can either sulk and you can sit there and you can, you know, pout and be in your own self-pity and your own self-misery because, oh, woe was me, nothing worked out the way that I wanted it to. Or you can pick yourself up, you can dust yourself off, and you can push forward even though it blows.
That's where that's for me.
And that's
why I need therapy. That's why I need therapy.
Yeah.
Is for the simple fact is that I know I'm not a fucking idiot that knows life is going to be sunshine and rainbows and all that shit. But I just, for some reason, I can never process failure.
Yeah, I can't either.
If life throws me a roadblock, I'm not like, oh, you know, dust myself off, reassess, and go through it. But then, you know, I curl up in a ball and I quit.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and that's what I was saying before.
If it's an ego problem or just self-esteem, because I know I have low self-esteem.
It's both of them. Because I used to be the same exact way. And that's what I've been trying to dig myself out of for the past 2 weeks, because that is my first instinct, is to just drop and just pout and cry and, like, you know, wallow in my own self-pity, because that's what I'm used to doing. That's, you know, losing my mom. That's what I did. That's how I handled it. I didn't talk about my situation. I didn't talk to people about my own self, you know, my own self-esteem and, like, how it was that I was feeling. I kept to myself, and I just, you know, I wanted people to know that I was okay, even though my life kind of blew at the time. And
I don't think everyone was going to probably assess it. You know, you were going to be able to process that. Well,
but the thing is,
your mother at that age.
But, like, that's the thing, is I'm very fortunate and I'm very blessed to have people in my life that love me and that care about me and are there for me. I never used it. And, you know, granted, that is how I handled things. That is how I dealt with trauma. That's just how I did it. But it created so many insecurities in me of, I need to be this. I need to be better. Cool, I accomplished this goal, but let's make a new one. That way I'm constantly in this pit that never leads to freedom. Let's try to, you know, let's accomplish a goal, immediately set a new one, but if we don't accomplish that goal, let's be depressed for a week. Like, that's how my mind is wired, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Because, like, you know, just in case, Lord willing, Cat does come back around, right? Like, I don't want to be in this headspace anymore. And that's what I'm saying with you, is that you have to find it within yourself to find that drive and that motivation to just do something about your situation. And it's hard. It's very hard to do that. It's extremely difficult to do that.
Alright, if you don't mind me asking, not to be a dick here.
Yeah, sure.
It's personal for you. Why did you go to therapy?
Why did I go to therapy?
Since we're having a grown-up conversation.
Yeah. Because I was tired of being the way that I was. I was tired of dodging what happened to me and what happened with my mom, and, like, my own perfectionism and my own desire to be better than I already am, even though I'm already pretty great as it is. Like, that's the reason that I started therapy, was because I wasn't happy with who I am. I needed to change. I needed to be different, because I was digging myself a hole. I wasn't digging myself out. I was digging further straight down. And, you know, it was really hard to go. Honestly, the first time that I went, like, I was fine on the drive down there. I was perfectly fine on the drive down there. And then the closer that I got to the office, the more anxious I became. And the more, you know, like, I started, like, honest to God, I think I started sweating. Like, the closer that I got to her office, was because this is the first time that I'm opening up. This is the first time that I'm talking about my situation and actually doing it in a probably, hopefully, comfortable environment to where I don't feel, you know, alienated. I don't feel like, you know, just because I was depressed, just because I used to have suicidal thoughts, just because that I used to be something that I wasn't, right? And that I knew that I wasn't, but I existed in that headspace just because it was familiar. And, you know, now all of a sudden I'm taking the biggest step towards changing. And it's scary. It's terrifying.
It's scary to stare at the abyss.
It's scary to look, to finally, because, like, let's be honest, in my head, at the time being, like, this isn't the way that I am now, but at the time, depression was comfortable. Suicidal thoughts were comfortable. The constant self-beratement, the constant, you know, anger that I have specifically towards myself for reasons that I don't even understand. It was all comfortable for me. And now I'm escaping that. Now I'm getting out of my comfort zone, and now I'm going towards something that I don't understand, that isn't comfortable, that isn't, you know, familiar to me. And it makes no sense. Like, why, this is stupid. I don't need therapy. I don't need to talk to somebody about problems that I've already fixed. Spoiler alert, I fixed none of them. Because the first day, I was bawling like a baby because she read me like a book whenever I was trying to put up a front. So, that's the lovely part about therapy. That's the lovely part about therapy, is because that person that is sitting across from you is specifically trained to tell when you are uncomfortable and you're lying. So, whenever I walked in, I sit down, I'm sitting up straight, I look very timid and very scared, and she called me out on it. Then as we progress, I start slouching, and I'm starting to like lean back on the couch, and she said, "You look a lot more comfortable." And all I did was breathe in, and like I grabbed the armrest, and she said, "And then you do something like that makes me notice, or that makes me know that you're very anxious right now." And I'm like, who even are you? A therapist? Is that what you are? You quit acting like you know me. Like, it was really weird.
Like, therapists, if I ever see one, which I still have not yet found, or not looked for, is that I would avoid eye contact. I guess, I don't know if it's just an intimacy issue, or I just never been able to look someone dead in the eye. I guess, because, you know, the idea is, you know, your eye is the gateway to your soul. And I guess that's what I just do not like. I just never like looking people in the face.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just checking stories and texting people back and stuff. But,
like, I played, like, pseudo-detective for, like, a couple years, figuring out, you know, where did it go wrong? Why did I start becoming like this? Like, I've, you know, I was bullied in school.
Mm-hmm.
I literally felt like I was public enemy number fucking 1 for no goddamn reason.
Mm-hmm.
Either because, I'm gonna tell you right now, I lied my ass off when we first met many years ago. You know how I said I was a quarterback?
Yeah, I knew you was lying.
Yeah, I know.
I knew you was lying the whole time.
I was bullshitting my ass off because I just felt like I needed that, you know,
you needed to be something different than what you were. Or you needed to not be the kid who was being bullied.
This was long after I had left that field, but I was bullied, I guess, because I was overweight. I still am. That's like one thing I struggle with.
Oh, I'm
very
too.
much.
I'm a chunky monkey, it's fine.
Well, I've never seen that. I didn't feel like I have a problem. Well, and the thing is, there was always this Vietnamese kid, Andy Nugent. I'm not joking. He was so shorter than me, I could literally have grabbed him by his throat and fucking killed him. I could have done it multiple times. I never did. He made my life a living hell.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what you're supposed to do. Tell the teachers and all that. They can do shit. And it got to the point where I hated the school. I had a hatred for the fucking school because, like, this is how 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade worked. It ended at 8th grade.
Yeah.
You had to go to a different school. Well, they were in a upstairs underneath the gym. That's where the classrooms were located. Well, I had fallen down the stairs once.
Mm.
Well, the kid was behind me. He pushed me. I felt it. Point fucking blank. And he said I didn't do it, even though I felt his hands on my back and I slipped. I turn around, get in his face, and fucking he slaps me dead in the fucking face. I, to this day, have always replayed that fucking thing in my head because I never stood up to him.
Yeah.
I never did it. And I'm like, what would have happened if I just grabbed him, chucked him down the stairs, and just curb stomped him?
Yeah.
And, like, I know I'd be in trouble and all that shit. But I'm like, he got away I literally point believe that he could have shot up the entire school and gotten away.
Yeah.
Because he had stabbed one of my old friends in the fucking hand with a pencil.
Lovely.
They didn't do shit. This is a Christian school. You know, God-fearing. Didn't do nothing because his family owned a damn salon. So they were pumping out money for the pricks.
Lovely.
So, and I've had this self-hatred of why I didn't do it. And I've had this just like, what if I see him again? What would happen?
Nothing.
Well,
that's the thing.
Believe.
Well, it's because
I've always replayed the idea of just smashing.
Right, and I get that because you know, I've dealt with like anger towards people like that before too. But the reason that I say nothing is because like you learn as you go along that person doesn't get to dictate who it is that you are, and they don't get to dictate, you know, because I mean I was bullied growing up too. People made fun of me because my mom's dead, so like I get it, but like you know, when you look at that person again, you're not going to do anything for two reasons. One, because the moment that you do actually do something, you're basically giving that person full reign and full control over you. You're not getting payback. And that's the lesson that I had to learn, because I did do something like that. Granted, it was forever ago, but I did. And, you know, you learn that instead of giving that person that power, instead of giving that person, you know, reign over me and reign over who I am, I'm going to be better than they ever was. Better person, better everything. And that's basically...
I know what people bully. I know that.
Well, part of it...
They're not evil. They're not evil, per se. They just come from maybe a destructive home life, and they just need some sort of fucking control.
Well, that's for some people. You got to think too.
Weakest member, like a pair of jackals.
You got to think, though, that people do that also just for the sake of doing it. Because I mean, there's people that bullied me that had a piss ton of everything, and but that's not the point. The point is that, you know, you talking about this, you looking at the situation that you're in right now, right? Where you're still thinking about, and it's trauma. People don't realize, well, at least some people don't, that when you're bullied like that, and
it brings your self-esteem to it
not only does that, but it's trauma. It is. Bullying creates trauma. And that's something that, and, you know, we still live in that society where it's like, you know, well, you know, suck it up. But some people can't.
Yeah, and then you end up on CNN shooting up a school. And then they go on the pseudo thing, oh, you know, he was always nice, he was picked on. I'm like, well, what the fucking you expect?
Like, you know,
it's gonna
I
be
get
like
why people...
one loose screw until, like, it snaps.
But, like, and that goes back, and that's the thing with people like that, too. Is you doing that, stooping down to that level where you're literally taking the life of multiple people, that's on that person. That isn't because of them being bullied. That isn't because of, you know, then, like, I mean, I am a firm believer that you are 100% in control of the type of person that you turn out to be. And that's what I was telling you earlier, is you're not going to do anything when you see him again. You're not going to. And it's not because, you know, you're a wimp. It's not because that you're a pussy. It's not because, you know, it's not because of any of that. It's because you be the bigger man and you do better for yourself. You want to do better for yourself because you end up looking at that person and you don't know how that, like, how long ago was that ended up happening?
Fucking damn near 10 years.
Okay, so 10 years ago, right?
Almost like, I think.
When's the last time that you've talked to him? When's the last time that you've seen him?
I never talked to any of them after.
Okay, so
Have
you seen him since then?
No.
Okay, so
I do not want to see
that happened 10 years ago, right?
For the simple fact that rage boils over.
That happened 10 years ago. You don't know the person that he is now, and that is, you know, that's not giving him, you know, any leeway for how it is that he did you, because there is nothing for that. Like, you know, it was wrong. It made no sense. But, you know, he may, and if you do end up seeing it again, he may apologize for the way that he treated. I've had people apologize to me for the way that they treated me, and I never expect it, because I want to be angry. And that's the thing I feel like is with you, is because you may not know it, but you're using this to your advantage. You're using this as a fuel.
Advantage, it's disadvantage.
It's
self-fuel of self-hatred.
But you're using it as fuel, though. Fuel to the fire of whatever it is that you're doing. And it's because that's familiar. That's habituated. You know, you talk about getting out, but you're not getting out. And it's because, like, it's that same subconscious thing of, this sucks, this blows, but it's familiar, so I'm staying. And whenever you finally do, and there is no time limit on something like this. Whenever you finally get to the point where we're gonna go ahead and go search for a game. I was waiting on one of my buddies to get on, but I don't think he's getting on right now.
I don't think my mind's gonna be in a different headspace for this shit. No, I don't. No, this is a good idea.
But
the fuck?
But yeah, you're gonna be okay.
I know I have trust issues. Like, me and you have pretty much been damn near blood brothers for about, what, 10 years?
About 10 years. Like, we've been good friends for about 10 years. But
yeah.
The thing with you,
like, but here's another thing, and I will tell you another little part of trauma I've had over the years. I had friends who weren't really my friends. If that makes any sense.
Same.
Well, here's the thing, is that I would...
Hmm?
Well, they beat the living shit out of me all the fucking time. He was like a damn abused ex-wife. I kept coming back. Like, yeah, you know, I could change him.
Enemy soldier incoming!
And like, you're just sitting there like, how the fuck? Like, why am I letting this happen to myself?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, but that's the thing.
That's where another one of my trust issues go, because I can talk to you all day long, because you're not in front of me. I don't know outside.
Enemy soldier
incoming! I'm not saying, oh, you're a bad guy, but you can't hurt me physically.
Warm up's done. Time to kick this off.
You can hurt me probably emotionally. You can't hurt me physically.
Yeah. And you know,
you're the type of guy
and I get that. Well, I mean, I don't hurt people unless they hurt me. But like, you know. I mean, I'm
Battle
just
Royale.
Throw it out there.
Alright, soldier,
like,
mark a drop point for your team.
you have to
avoid the gas. Get to the safe zone.
That's our drop zone.
You got to take a stand for yourself, and you got to look at your situation. You got to look at your mentality and your mental health, and you got to be like, okay, something needs to change. Something needs to be different, and it takes time to finally get to that point where you're like, okay, I'm done, and I'm gonna do something about it. And it doesn't happen right away. It comes,
Eliminate all targets in the AO.
Comes with time.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
And that's like, like back to the whole, like, me and Kat.
I've never.
Like, I get it. But, like,
I don't believe, like I have had, thoughts of, like, what would happen if I did this?
Yeah.
Here's
everybody does that.
I don't, like, here's where you're going to probably say, I'm a little fucked up for saying this.
No.
But I've always had a somewhat morbid respect for people that get in there like that. Because it takes literal balls to be the one that decides. Like, we could walk out right now and be hit by a car. That's fate. You're the one that says, you know what, I'm done. I want to reset.
Well, that goes both ways, though. It's because, yeah, your body, your mind, everything is dead set on survive, be alive, be this, be that. And then whenever you're like, hey, no, and you take your own life, like, yeah, there is a factor into that where you could say, like, yeah, it takes a lot to be able to do that. It takes even more to be able to look yourself in the mirror after being in that situation, because I've been there, and be like, okay, I can't do this. And I'm not doing this for, I'm not saying that I can't do this because it'll hurt this person or it'll hurt that person. I can't do this because...
That's mostly what people, like, that attempt suicide, that's how they get talked out of it.
Well, you don't really want to die. You think you want to die. But you don't want to. Because anyone who has ever attempted suicide and backed out, unless they have some sort of mental disorder and they got something, going on in their headspace, anyone who has ever attempted suicide has always said after the fact,
contact!
Holy crap, I'm so glad that didn't happen. What the crap was I thinking? And that's the thing, is like, they're inside it. Oh, no, they're not. Oh, look at him go. He's just running along, doing his thing.
What are you talking about?
Look at him, he's doing a slide and stuff. Oh, look at him go.
Contact!
Enemy
Oh, there's
UAV
one outside
overhead.
to our left. Oh, he's right here. Oh my god.
Yeah, his teammate
Had a
was
shotgun.
behind that haystack.
F.
God, we suck at this game. I think my brother is like terrified of the idea that I might go postal.
You
or
win this
kill
fight and you
myself.
return to the front line. But if you lose, you're done here.
Like he's even telling
Time
my
to
mom
earn your
that.
freedom, soldier.
He's to your left. To your left. No, left. North.
I
There you
got
go.
him.
There are.
There
Stand
you
by
go.
for redeployment.
So that sucks.
Be advised,
Well,
your
shit,
teammate got
okay.
their ass kicked.
Screw me
They're
up, fam.
RTB at this time. Your team is KIA. It's up to you now.
Know that?
Keep dreaming of love.
Okay, just processed it like I didn't say anything.
What?
I was like talking about like how my brother has, told my mom, he has a fear that, like if something happens to her, something happens to my grandmother or my dad, then I'm gonna go postal.
You won't.
I might do something irrational because I can't process. Like, I didn't know what he meant by that, because I still haven't asked him about that, but like, don't know if he means like I can't process death, because if I couldn't process death, I'd just expect my grandparents to.
Well, see, like, you
died
can't.
When I was 2 to come walking through the door.
Like, you can't. Well, that's the thing. Is like everybody processes everything. It's not that you can't process. You just process in your own way, and you may process without even knowing that you're processing. And that's a very, meta outlook, but like it's the truth. Like and like this is the thing with me. Like when Mom passed away, I processed it by avoiding thinking about it forever, and I locked it away, and I never thought about it again. But that, that created issues and stuff like that. And like my own aunt ended up telling me, like, she was worried about me and stuff. Ooh, stuff. Ooh, cool stuff. But, like, my own aunt ended up looking at me. It's like, there's definitely something, going on with CJ. And it's like, you're not going... Did I just get the same thing twice? Or are these two totally different?
Same thing.
Oh, cool. But, like, you're not going to do anything like that. You won't. And that's not like, and I don't mean to make it sound, like, so blunt, but, like, look at it this way, right? You're like me. You've been through a lot already. You've dealt with a lot. You've overcame quite a bit. But like those things, they still stick with you. And that's the problem that I used to have. Is because I used to hold on to every little thing that ever happened to me, good or bad. And it took literally pretty much until last week to kind of, I don't mean to keep bringing up, the whole me-cat situation. But like...
That's good allegory for you.
It took me... that long to basically learn how to let go, and because this isn't a situation that I can control. My past isn't a situation that I can control, and it doesn't have any control over me. I gave it, and that's the thing with you, is like, this whole, you're bullied, and this happened and that happened, and it's by you doing that, you're inadvertently giving power to those situations and to that mindset of, I'm this way because of what I've been through, or I'm this way because of, being bullied, or I'm this way because of whatever happened, family-wise. I get it, because I did the same thing.
Found an aid station.
Do I have enough? Oh, I do have enough. It's splendid. But like, I get it. Like I said, I understand it because I did the same exact thing. I literally did it up until 2 weeks ago. Like, that's just the way that it is. And I thought that I stopped. I thought that I had everything that I, was dealing with, and everything, insecurities, all of it. I thought I had it all in check while I was with Caitlin. And like, I did for the most part. But there were still things that like I needed to understand, and I needed to grow up, and I needed to learn not only, about how to deal with a situation, but stuff that I needed to learn about myself. And I learned that basically my problem is that I always think there's a problem. My problem is that...
Why?
What did you do? Oh, is there someone on the loadout?
No, 2 of them, and I got gangbanged. Of course I would go right for the loadout, and they just jumped me.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
I thought we were alone. Yeah, they're at the factory. They're now going where you are with the intel.
Heck yeah.
So, be on alert. But I think the reason why he thinks I can't process death, I don't really like my grandfather died and he lives like right down. His house is right.
Recon is still secure.
I already got
Solid
that.
work.
Like 100 feet from where I live.
Okay.
Then walking distance. I do not like being in the house since he's died.
Oh, that's okay.
Like I'm an avoidant to like, where that area of his house. And all that shit. I just have never been, I just don't like confronting that part of that.
You know when the first time that I ever went and seen my mom's gravesite was? Mother's Day of last year.
Eh.
You deal, and that's the thing, is that...
I have never seen his gravesite.
And that's fine. You don't have to.
Well,
Oh, penis. Hold on.
In a weird way. And here's where it goes. Yeah, I think those are the two guys.
Oh, this is the game that you want to play, boys?
Strike him up! Send it!
This is Striker 3-1, good copy. Strike inbound.
My grandfather had this thing. It's
No hits on that run.
Forget it.
It's like a penis. I don't care if he's dead.
Lost that one. Come back stronger next time.
Well,
Bro, I hit him like a bus.
He told my dad, my grandfather told my dad, when I die, forget about it. My dad's gone and visited his grave a couple times. He probably does that in secret. All that.
Hmm.
I have not been to his grave since we buried him.
Hmm.
Don't know what his gravestone looks like. Don't know any of that.
Hmm.
I know where he's buried. I pass it a lot of times. It's just that I do not want to see it.
And that's okay.
Like my grandfather, my other grandfather, he died when I was 2 years old. A month before I turned 3. I'm used to his grave because that was normal to me. It just was a regular thing to go visit his grave. I haven't done it in a long time. Not as I used to when I was a little kid because, in a weird way, I have a big fear of death. I have a phobia about it.
Okay, so you're talking about this like it isn't okay. Like it's not normal. And you're approaching it like it's not normal. The thing is that there's no manual on how to handle these things. There isn't a weird way to handle it. Like the dude that I went and watched a fight with a bunch of my friends last night. And the dude who was fighting found the dude who hung himself in a forest, and every time before a fight he goes out into that forest and touches the noose, prays for good luck, and he also cut off part of the noose as a bracelet. So people handle things differently. And like
I'm not gonna say like, oh, I can't. This is like,
I know.
What I was trying to
I
say
know what
is
you're
that
saying.
my brain has either developed to the point where, like, I'm used to like one of my grandfather's graves because since I've been 2 years old, he's been in the ground.
Okay. Right?
I was 16 when my other grandfather died, and I guess for some reason I just do not want to visit that grave.
Well, it's because that you wasn't old enough. No, it's not. It's because that you wasn't old enough to process the other one. Like that was just life. That was just the way that was. My grandpa Vernon passed away the year that I was, or a year before I was born. And I've never been to his gravesite before. I've never cried about him. But like, my papa Charlie, I did cry whenever he passed away. It's because that I was 17 or 18, and I developed a relationship with that person. And that's the thing. You're not afraid of this. It's not a fear, right? It's just...
It's the fear of the unknown. The reason why people fear death, it's the fear of the unknown. It's the fear of what's... I know you're a Christian. I know... Like me, I'm not very religious. I don't believe in that type of thing. No offense.
I don't care. You do you.
Like, but I've always felt like, what's on the other side? It could be heaven or hell. If it's hell, I'm going there. I've just, what's on the other side? Is it just a black void? Is it, I've always had the dumb idea that, we're reborn. We're reborn into a new body. We just have no recollection of our old lives. We're like old spirits. As dumb as that is.
What is it that? What are you trying to fix? Like what it will? Like, I mean, like you're telling me this stuff, like, but like what is it that you're wanting to just stop doing, or stop being like?
Just
Because
stop sitting on my ass. Stop being lazy. Stop doing all this because
there is only
me being depressed is the reason for that demotivation.
Right, but there's only one person in this world that can do anything about that.
I know, and his name is Dustin Rafe.
Yeah. And then
like
it comes down to
your problem is C.J. Wilson.
Exactly. But like that's the thing
give a
is
push, you just can't fix him for him.
You got to like I said before, you got to take a stand for yourself. And you got to be like, you have to come to grips with the fact that this is a part of you because you allow it to be. And that's the thing with like I mean, there's stuff that's happened to me that, I used to hold on to all the freaking time. And now I couldn't tell you what it was that I was even pissed off about in the first place. And it's because, like, I came to grips with the fact that that situation, that pain, that hurt, whatever it was that was bothering me so bad, I couldn't do anything about it in the time being. Because either I just wasn't in control of that situation, or I didn't prepare myself, and I wasn't prepared to handle that situation in the way that I needed to. Either way, I wasn't in control of it. And that's the thing, is like you allow these things to have a grip on you. And you're holding on to a thread of whatever it is that's going on, because that's what's familiar. And that's what makes sense. And you may not even know that you're doing that, but like, when it comes down to it, that's where we're at right now. And for your own sake, you got to come to grips with the fact that, your fear of death, for example, right? Or fear of the unknown or whatever. You're in no control over that. Just like I ain't. No one is. And you can't spend your life being afraid and being scared of something that you can't possibly have any amount of control over. Because it's just it's a part of life. And like, this stuff with your grandfather and stuff like that, like, it hurts. Right. But like, either way,
it's like an analogy of, how, my brother might think I might not process death.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing, is like your brother doesn't understand the fact that you process things in your own way. And that doesn't mean that it's wrong.
Well, it's not like he doesn't know. It's like, I've only told him a little bit.
Okay.
A lot of things we talked about.
Right.
Because I have and I think that's, maybe one of the reasons why I think my mom's kind of mad at me for that reason. Is because, I don't open up to anybody.
I don't either. Right.
For the simple fact that, I guess I'm scared of being judged. Like, I talked to my grandmother about it both times, because me and my grandma are very close.
Yeah.
So, like, the minute she dies, it's gonna hit me like a fucking bus.
Right, okay.
And, it's just, the fact that I guess I have a fear of being judged. That's why when I go to therapy, or if I ever go to therapy, is that I'm going to be judged like a motherfucker, and they're gonna like probably diagnose me with shit that I have no terminology.
Okay, so that's the thing with therapy, right? Therapy, you're not judged in therapy. At all. There's stuff that I've told my therapist that I couldn't even fathom saying to anyone else. And it's because, one, she is very good at her job. And she knows me very well now. And like you're not judged in therapy. Ever. That's not what that is. And even if they do, like, quote unquote, like, it's not like you're going to go see a psychologist. You're not going to be prescribed anything. They have no reign over that.
I know, but I might have to go see one. That's the thing.
That's fine. Go see one.
Like, I believe I have depression and anxiety.
Okay.
And I'll tell you another little secret about me. I don't know how to drive. I have a learner's permit, and I've never been on the road, only twice, because I panic.
Okay.
A lot.
Right.
For the simple fact that you're in the wheel, you're in control of, something might go wrong. You can get in an accident any time. It's the idea that you caused the accident and someone dies because of you.
You are, and especially
well,
with that, like, you're overthinking that big time. Because this goes back to the situation of, and like, that's like with me. Like, I didn't get my license until I was 18 years old. And it was because, like, it was because I just genuinely didn't care about driving. But, like, it is scary at first. But, like, yeah, you're in control, but you're in control over you and what you do. You're in control of your actions. And, like, you talk about it, and it sounds like you're talking about it, and it being like, I don't trust myself behind the wheel of a car.
I don't. At all.
But
I do not trust myself because I've always panicked if someone throws a curveball. Like, just panic, someone throws at me, I panic. Like, you could throw something at me and I have a bad reaction.
Okay, well, that's because somebody threw something at you. That's not because
you're behind a wheel going 40 miles an hour and just something steps out in front of you and you swerve.
And that's their fault.
I know, but you panic.
But you panic for a good reason, and it's because somebody did something stupid, and that isn't on you. That's on that person. And you're finding ways to blame yourself for situations that aren't even on you in the first place. That has nothing to do with you. How you handle a situation like that, whether or not you, like, hit somebody or not, like, in the same token, that person walked out into the middle of the freaking road for no reason. Like, and you can't be scared like that, man. And the reason that you can't be is because, like, and this is where, it's just, and I could be wrong, but, like, this is just where it sounds like we're at right now, is, we're in the situation now where it's like you're preparing yourself for something that's going to go wrong. And I get it, because, like, I did the same thing. Hence, this whole Caitlyn situation where I was just like, okay, well, this is really freaking great, and something, I'm planning, like, and it's just because I'm used to having my guard up, or I was used to having my guard up. I got over that because, therapy again, but whatever. That's beside the point. The point is that you're preparing yourself for a situation that, again, you have no control over. And you're at the cost of that, you're throwing your life away because you don't want to be the resulting factor of something going wrong or something that's going to end up happening. And you're throwing yourself in the back burner because of that. When, you know, everybody goes through it. Everybody does. I mean, and I've done it. Like, I've came super close to being in an accident that, there was one time, it was a couple of months ago, I was driving home from Caitlin's. And someone was just driving on the opposite side of the road and almost killed me. And I called Caitlin right after, told her what happened, told her how much I loved her, how much I care about her. But again, that is a situation that I have no control over. That is a situation that person has control over. That person decided to go 70 in a 35 on a back road. That person was stupid. I wasn't. I was doing CJ things. And like with you, Dustin goes for a drive. Dustin goes and does this. Dustin, you know, wants to do this. He wants to do that. He wants to, you know, get out of his shell and go do these things. But someone does something. But they do something stupid. And they do something that gets in the way of, you know, that makes or breaks whatever, you know, whatever situation that you get thrown into next. That isn't a Dustin problem. That's a that person problem. Because that person is stupid. And you know, this is all part of the whole coming out of your shell. And understanding that life is just as good as it is bad at times. And it, like, I mean, life ain't fair. Life ain't easy. But everyone has to live it. Same game, different levels, same hell, different devils. Everyone has issues. Everyone has, you know, things that they have to go through. Everyone has things that they have to deal with. I've basically lived a lifetime in 20 years. In the worst way possible. That's why people come to me with advice, because they know that chances are I've probably lived that situation. And it's like, you know, everyone has this situation, kind of like what it is that you're in right now. It's the situation, it's this deciding factor of this way or that way, this way or the highway. You know, do I take a chance or do I not? Do I stay afraid for the rest of my life, or do I take a stand for myself and do something that betters me and something that I'm going to be proud of? And that's another thing, is failure. Failure is the only way that you're ever going to succeed in life. Because you got to screw up. You got to mess up. You have to make mistakes. It's part of life. And that's what I was telling you earlier. Is like, you know, this just comes down to, simply put, it's a maturing thing. And it takes time and it takes experience. Because there's some things that you're not going to understand until you go through them. And let's say that, you know, let's say for you know, for the sake of us not, you know, backtracking to a deeper subject, this whole new driving thing, right? So, let's say that you finally get out of your shell and you finally come to grips with the fact that the world isn't against you. And you're not going to be to blame for someone making a terrible life decision. And you go and you get your license.
Alright, soldier, mark a drop point.
And then you finally realize at that point in time that you're like, oh my god, I worried over absolutely nothing. There was no reason for me to be this way. I wasted so much time because of my own fear. And I mean, you're a good kid, Dustin. You're a very good kid. And you know, yeah, you have issues. I have issues. Everyone's got issues. There's not a soul on this planet that doesn't. And chances are, if they tell you they don't, then they're either a freaking yoga guru, more than likely, or they're a lying sack of garbage. And it's a shame that those are the only two categories that there are for something like that. You know, you, like I said, man, you're a great kid, and you literally, you don't see it. And the reason that I see it is because I've lived it. You don't see that you have everything, the world and all, at your fingertips. You just have to put faith in yourself. You gotta understand, come to grips with the fact that the world is harsh, sure, but the world is also what it is that you make out of it. Did you go somewhere else? Where did you go?
I landed in the thing, but also I killed somebody.
Oh, where'd you go?
Clear to engage all targets.
I'm not like gonna go in the whole hunky door like, oh, everything's fucking fine.
Enemy
like a
soldier
dog in a
incoming.
burning house. I know there's a problem with me. I've got underlying issues that I need like therapy to probably fix, or at least maybe confront. I get it's fear. I know that for a fact it's fear, but I don't really fucking.
Sooner or later. I mean, well, it's not really that you don't know, it's that you do know, but you don't really know what to do about it. And that's the reason that therapy exists. It's because, you got an issue that you need help with, and it's okay to need help. That doesn't make you insane because you go to therapy. It doesn't make you, deranged because you want therapy.
I don't want to come off like a dick here, but there are some bad therapists.
There are some bad therapists. Have you ever been to a therapist?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, so that's like saying,
car.
okay, there's a bad neurologist. There are bad freaking psychologists. There are bad chefs. That person that made Zaxby's for me didn't cook the chicken all the way. Like that, it's the same concept. And and if you have a bad therapist, then you know what you do? You find another therapist. When you go to a restaurant and you didn't get what you wanted, are you going to go back to that restaurant tomorrow? No. Because I got your order wrong, and that pisses you off. Where are the freaking stairs? There's the stairs.
Did you not know where the fucking stairs were? Do you want the shotgun I got?
Oh no, I got a shotgun. I appreciate it though. Oh, that's the same one I have. Lindsay's. But yeah, like, and again, that comes down to just being afraid. Because you don't want to be judged. And you're not going to be.
All right.
And if your therapist does,
I got shotgun.
then they suck. And you go find someone else. Where did this come from? That's an ICBM.
And I think we can die if we go down there.
I don't know about you, but I feel pretty alive right now.
Yeah,
Someone's definitely down here, though. But yeah. Stop. Don't talk yourself out of doing this for yourself. Don't be afraid of, something like this happening. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not going to.
Visited by a helicopter.
How do we know? Splendid.
I think we are. Someone just is like going down.
They just dropped the freaking boss station.
Where did you go?
I don't know. I have no idea where I am right now. Okay, never mind. I have an idea where I am right now.
War Easter egg?
I guess. I don't know.
It has to be.
What I do know is I'm going back inside because homeboy's pulling up in a freaking truck. Oh, no, he's not. Never mind. I'll Well, that's exciting.
Well, we've gotten scattered, and I think I might be having some... God, where?
I have no idea. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I know you see me.
Through a secret door?
Wait, do you see me?
Do you not see? Like, you now went up. You were at the bottom at one point. Where did you go?
Don't worry about it. Doing things.
Target down.
Oh, for God's sake. That's almost here.
Huh? Well, I just fell off.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Christ.
Yep, I found him.
Yeah, he's
I don't think he has plates. Are you rushing him with a shotgun? Did you just...
I am a moron. All the time. Not good at games.
That's exciting.
I was screwed in the right SMG or shotgun.
Fight to earn redeployment. We got a proper fight.
F.
You're up next, mate. Get ready. Your teammates done in. They're returning to base.
Why do I try? Stupid.
It's all up to you now. Go for the win. Listen up, soldier. Win here and you return to the front line. But if you lose, time to earn your freedom, soldier.
Hold that.
Yeah, you kick their ass. Stand by for redeployment. Friendly loadout drop on the way.
Well, that's convenient. Oh, that's very convenient.
Yeah, something tells me you paid off the devs of this game.
Almost too convenient,
Gas
I
is
might
moving
say.
in. New safe zone
Yeah,
located.
you paid off the devs.
I tried. Ooh, stuff.
Right under
Supply box marked. Secure the package.
Cool. Just dip. Doop a doop a doop a doop.
Gas is inbound.
And they did not realize, CJ, I've got a lot of issues.
Everyone does. And it's okay. That's why you go to therapy. That's why you talk about this stuff. Because you can either sit around and you can think about it, and you can do absolutely nothing about it. Or you can take a step and actually do something about it. Those are the two choices in life. Pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and you push forward. Ride the storm.
I just got like, I don't know if it's my mentality. It has to be a science to why I'm like this.
Just mentality. And it's because of like, and
I get, you know, trauma, being bullied, and, you know, having.
Well, it's
fake
because
friends that beat you like a
you're not used to having a good thing for long.
Move to the next location.
Like that's all there is to it. And I'm the same exact way. Like I'm not used to things going great. Like I'm not. So I prepare myself for the worst. That's why I went to therapy again. It's because I'm tired of preparing myself for the worst. Yeah, after me and Kat broke up, I started therapy again.
You just stopped going?
Yeah. I stopped going whenever we got together because I was like, oh, I'm fine, everything's good, everything's great. It was. Until it wasn't.
Like,
Until it wasn't. Oh my god, okay.
The enemy took that one, but we'll be back to finish the job.
I got freaking shot in the forehead. But yeah, like, you're gonna be okay. You need to... You're gonna be okay.
Just confront my problems.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I just seen Kat's freaking username in my... That's another thing with me, like right now. It's because, like, tell myself that I'm fine, tell myself that I'm okay, and then I see something that reminds me of her, and... Boy, is it weird. Well, let me rephrase that. It creates anxiety.
Anxiety of what?
Because I miss her. And I love her. And I care about her. But, you know. It is what it is. But, I'm going to be okay. You're going to be okay. And if you ever need to talk, I'm here.
And same for you.
I appreciate that.
You sure you never wanted to get a... Sure you never wanted to be a psychologist?
I mean, I've thought about it, but...
Or a motivational speaker?
I've thought about that too, but... CLB such is life.
Like, I haven't... Like, well, you know, my belief was, you know, when I was younger, you know, I wanted to be an artist, an animator.
Hmm?
Well, I haven't drawn in, like, a year. Like, I've made a joke about, like, you know, the last artwork I ever did, which is I think my Facebook profile picture, if I'm not mistaken, is like the Plague Doctor. It's, I think I created the apocalypse. Just like when I fully, like, finished it, like, the coronavirus started. And why is your PS4 sound like it's about to, like, go to space?
Probably because it is.
Mine as well. I'm surprised
That's a loud
my
boy.
PS4 hasn't died yet.
Yeah, same.
I don't know why, but about these, like, paper mache masks. There?
Yeah, I'm here.
I don't know why about these paper mache masks for no reason. So, just bought them.
bought paper mache masks.
Yeah, about like 3 sets of like 4 masks that are like different shapes. I was thinking of like, you know, customizing them and like maybe doing something with them. I have no idea. Maybe sell them or... You know, I even contemplated the idea of maybe becoming a streamer. Which, that ain't never gonna happen. Because you gotta have an interesting personality to get viewers and shit like that. And I do not have an interesting personality. I maybe can make a persona with that mask. I don't think I will be able to do it fully. If that makes any sense.
Oh, it does.
So after me and you have just literally poured our entire souls out. Any funny stories you want to tell?
I don't really know. I don't know, I'm texting somebody, I don't know. Mm-mm-mm.
Texas in there?
Yeah. Hold on just a second. I need to reset this.